Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're gonna go over our two trades for today. The first stock we traded was XAIR. So XAIR came up on the scanner. There's news on it. Wasn't the best, but it was the one that I made the most money on for today. Right now, we'll take a look at my P&L. So my P&L is on the screen. Okay, so XAR. So first at a glance, the 1 minute chart looks. It doesn't look the best. I mean, very quick, kind of dumped. Didn't really recover till closer to the open. And then I saw this closer to the open, and I was like, maybe forget it. I was getting close to done trading at that time. So initially, it had made a high of like 153, and I saw it break through, and I was like, it's okay, just forget it. And then it does go up over 2 to 250, so it's okay. I got what I needed. I didn't need to overstay my welcome. So then my entries on this, they're fairly quick. As you can see on the 1 minute chart, I traded the first move in the morning. So why was this good? Well, if we can see here, they acquire 85%. XTL Pharmaceuticals acquires 85% of Beyond Air subsidiary Neuro NOS. So this sounds bullish. So for float 4 million, the volume was 400 million. So 100 times X volume compared to what it's normally at. That's really, really good. If we take a look at the daily chart, so the daily chart is something I was trying to grasp, and I was like, okay, well, we're opening above one clearly, and I was like, where do I see a gap? Well, possible gap between 159 to, 164. The 200 EMA, the 200 EMA had a high of 351, so it did have some room to move, and it did. I think it was a bit of a slow grinder. So back to the 10-second chart. Zoom in here. So the blue arrows are my entries and the yellow arrows are my exits. So I saw it pop up initially, and I was like, okay, let's wait for pullback, and then pulled back. And as it was slowly starting to climb, I wanted to wait for more volume. I didn't really, I don't know. I mean, I guess volume was good here, but I just wanted to see if this was something that would follow through and not just dump. So I then began taking position at right here, this candle, 50 shares, and then I added another 50 shares. I hold for about 2 or 3 candles, and then I sell my first position here. Then after I'm in for this is just locking in my profits because I'm like, okay, what if it doesn't break all-time highs or, um, you know, overnight, not overnight, pre-market highs. That's just to take my profit. Then I added right here as it was gonna break through this 150 143 barrier. Now this is where I could have held because it did begin to flat a little bit, and it did get a small bump, but I thought we were going to go higher, but we didn't. So I took some profit off the table from there too after holding about 20 seconds or so. So both my positions I was holding about 20, 20, 30 seconds, so not very much, but it did net me the most on the day, and you can see here. Now there was another stock I was trying to trade at the time before I go into DCOY. So XAR, AIR was when I traded. XTLB had similar headline. I tried to trade it. I mean, if we look on the daily chart, it did put in a really good move. Um, but the problem was this one was that it was an Israeli stock. So Israeli stocks are also being, I guess, quote unquote, blacklisted on Charles Schwab. I can't trade it. It's Israeli, so anything Israeli, Malaysia, Chinese, Hong Kong, Singapore, all the stocks. I think even Great Britain stock. I don't think I'm able to trade those, but it's fine. I noticed the stocks that I'm looking for with the best volatility in small caps are going to be the U.S. ones. So they're not exclusively the international ones. So I guess it's another guardrail that's added on. So I don't mind that. It keeps me safe. It keeps me safe from really poor moves. So I think we'll take a look at XTLB. Yeah, like this. Here, I'll show you guys right now. So yeah, this wasn't really like very strong. This was very weak in the beginning. So maybe it saves me from, I mean, first I wouldn't trade that, but you never know. I think it could save me from a lot of uncertainty. Like AHMA, this one had no news. As I was squeezing up today, there was news in the AM and the PM, but AE, I don't know where that's at. I think that's, I don't know. Anyways, AHMA was squeezing up, and I was like, why is this thing moving? I couldn't take any trade on it. It didn't let me. And I was like, okay, well, just it ran out. It ran without me. But that's okay. The next one that came up was actually BCTX. So BCTX, this is the one that was a little bit trickier for me just because I just couldn't trust the volume in the beginning. And I noticed obviously with stocks that are over $10, that's when I begin to fail. I begin to like just not get good at trading those types of stocks, especially when they're higher priced. There's just a lot of volatility, but I don't think my account is ready to handle that type of hit. Like I want to be able to get to a point where $200 to $500 loss is like feels like a $20 to $50 loss, but I'm not at that point yet. And I know it sounds weird. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, why would you want to experience a $200 to $500 loss? Well, relative to the account, if you have like 50K, you can survive a 500 loss day and just be like, okay, I'm good for the day. But if you're in a $2,000 account, then $500 is a lot more. So that's what I mean. And you're risking a lot. I mean, so this is what I mean. So I couldn't trust this. I saw BCTX. It had, I think, similar moves. No, they reported something in their study, something with they're involved with lung cancer and then their biotech. I don't know if I would have been able to trade it. Let me know if you guys did, if you're on Charles Schwab. But anyways, I didn't even test it. I was just trying to watch it. Anyways, look how light this volume was, and I was like, okay, well, if we break through here, maybe, just maybe. But then I was looking at the spreads, and the spreads were just way too wide, 50 cents, 30 cents apart. I was like, I don't know, if I get in and it flushes down, I'm going to be in a bigger drawdown, and then I'm going to be upset that I took an unnecessary trade, something that I shouldn't have traded. And it just kept going up, kept gapping up, and I was like, well, shit, man. This is already going from like 10 all the way up to almost $20. So I was like, well, honestly, if I get in right now I'm really gonna regret it. And thankfully, I didn't get in because it just began to sell the whole day. Um, really, right here, I saw this sort of breakout, but same thing. I just couldn't trust it. I just could not trust this breakout. I just think the fear of like the low volume. The volume was a bit better than the beginning, but I just didn't see that we would I guess have a clean breakout, and it actually ended up being cleaner than I thought after it had formed. I'm like, well, that's okay. I managed my risk, and I didn't need to jump into anything too crazy today, so I avoided that. I think that was a bullet dodged, but I just thought it was no, it wasn't it. It wasn't the one. DCOY. So this one was really good. It was stronger than XAIR. The let's see the news. So let's look at the price. The price was under a dollar at the time. The float 5 million, volume 100 million, so about 20x volume. Pretty good. Not as much volume as previous one, but not bad. Recent versus split. So last month, let's look at the daily chart. Go here. So looking at the daily chart, I was like, huh, okay, there's some room we can work with. Maybe I was trying to map out like, okay, we clear over 90 cents. That's maybe one set of resistance. Clearing a dollar, definitely another one, and then maybe right here at 121. So I think I don't know. I was just being a little bit cautious on this one. I felt like there was um, a lot of resistance heading up, but we ended up closing above 120, which is really good. I didn't think we would ever hit 175, but it was close. It was close. So we'll show my entries right now. I only took two positions on this, and they were both very, very quick. Let me just plug something in real quick. My laptop's about to die. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it does this. I don't know if it's when I'm adjusting this. Anyways, yeah, it's better. Okay, so this was going up already. I was like, I'm not too sure if like, I mean, it's cheap. It's what I like, but it wasn't the type of movement I was looking for. I was looking for more aggressive movement from a penny stock, and I just felt like this was more of a grinder. It consolidated at this VWAP level at a dollar. After it broke a dollar, I saw it break, and I was like, I don't know about this one. I was just trying to be on the air of caution. I was trying to be safe. But anyways, I saw that we had a high of 115. I was like, you know what? Breaks 115, I'm gonna get in here. So I got in at this entry right here. Let's see, what was my entry price of 115? I actually got in at 114 and I sold for the very next candle at 119. Um, Yeah, maybe could have held a little bit higher. Another 6 more cents, another $6 more. So I think these entries were very, very quick. And on the 10-second chart, it can look a little bit choppy, or it can look a little bit, I don't know about this. I mean, it did hold support above the 20 MA. It broke the 90 MA very briefly, but then it recovered and rallied a little bit further. So really, I would have been able to pull out another $15 on that if I had just held. And I think it's just, I know I'm being a little bit restrictive on my, I guess, hold time, but I got, like I said, someone mentioned that I gotta flip the motion. I gotta flip. Hey, I gotta hold my winners longer. My winners need to be held longer. I can't have that fear. If I know I'm in a good setup trade, you can hold your, winners longer and just still have your position, just lock in profits. And that's something I gotta get better at. But with Charles Schwab or Thinkorswim, you have to kind of manually set. If I'm at 100 shares, if I want to sell half, I gotta manually set it at 50, and sometimes it takes a little bit too much time to do. Because you never know, things move really, really quick, and you want to lock in profits. Anyways, then it made another high at 137. This one held right above the 90 EMA and it squeezed up. I took an entry as it was ready to squeeze up past this most recent high at that time. So my entry was 133 and it broke through 138 and I sold. High of this candle was about 140, so not too bad. And like I said, I mean, a few candles later, this would have been $2, $3 more in the pocket. So not much on the table, but on a bigger scale, if I'm taking 1,000 shares, that's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot more. So I gotta practice. And really, if I wanted to be ballsy with this, my first entry, if I wanted to just keep holding and sort of, I guess, a scalp into the trade, where, let's see, where my first entry. My first entry was here over this break, buying on this dip, then taking profit here, buying on another dip, then as the dip down again, dip, and take the trade up. But that's a little bit more advanced, and you know, I don't know. Like, let me know how you guys scalp. I think this was looking at the setup. It's like this is a good way to scalp. Obviously, it's never going to be possible, but I think scalping is obviously better for a margin account. When you're in a cash account, it's like that's a little bit more riskier. I'd rather stick with the just, get in, get out, get green. Nothing wrong with that. And I don't have to hold a position. I can always just jump out. But, scalping does lead to, I guess, aggregate profit per day or aggregate trade. And it is a bit more effective from how I see how Ross does it, but I'm gonna get there within time. And then if I'm gonna scalp, I'm gonna start with 50 shares and then do that. But I'm gonna scalp. Um, you know, I gotta practice, see how that goes first. I should practice that in a simulator, honestly. That shouldn't be practiced in a very I guess volatile stock. I mean, you want it to be in a volatile stock, but you also want it to be in a good setup stock like this, very slow. So maybe this would have been a good day. Coulda, woulda, should have. But in the simulator, I go for that. But we'll find out. We'll find out if we get more opportunities like this. And that was pretty much it for the day. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Didn't trade anything today for Robinhood for the day trade on that. SPY. Well, tomorrow, now we got the tariff decision for tomorrow. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Tomorrow we got tariff decision, and well, finally, Friday we were supposed to have it. So it was weird because Friday we were supposed to have that decision on the 9th, and then it turned out 15, like at 7. Nope, it's not gonna happen. Squeeze into all-time highs, right? Monday, yesterday consolidate. Today we kind of dumped a little bit. We're rallying up all pre-market from CPI data. CPI is like showing steady, so inflation is still, sorry, but I guess some sort of like rants or the Iranian tariffs. I don't know. He was saying something and then boom, crashed back down. So we'll see what's gonna go on tomorrow. I mean, if we're gonna really start a real correction like we did see earlier this year or last year. Let's see. Man, that was it felt like so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. It was literally a year ago. Yeah, this 3 month, 4 month correction, we could be at that point. We could just be, I mean, we've already been sort of consolidating and then just maybe going higher. Market's always going to keep going higher. All right, let me know if you guys enjoyed. And thank you for always watching. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Day trading is risky. Have fun. Bye bye.